Bob Hamilton.
Present.
Noting that Jane Penag, Steve Schmidt, and Harry Emmett are not present tonight. We'll now move to item 2, approval of the agenda. Do any members have items to be added to the agenda? It appears there are none. May I request a mover and a seconder? Member Smith, Member Hamilton. Member Smith, can you provide your motion?
Sorry, was that Member Hamilton? Were you seconding? Did I miss that? Yeah.
He's seconding.
Moved by myself and seconded by Member Hamilton that the agenda for the County of Brant Committee of Adjustment meeting on February 15th, 2024 be approved.
Thank you. Members, please indicate if you are in favor of the motion, starting with Member Vamus.
Yes.
Member Hamilton?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
And Brown, yes. I'll now introduce item 3, declaration of pecuniary interest. Are there any members who would like to declare a conflict of interest on any of the items on this meeting's agendas? I believe there are none. I'll now introduce item 4, adoption of the minutes from the previous meeting, January 18th, 2024. Do the committee members have any errors or omissions to note? It appears those minutes are correct. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Member Hamilton, Member Vamus is seconding. Member Hamilton, please provide your motion.
Moved by myself and seconded by Member Vamus that the minutes from the County of Brant Committee of Adjustment meeting for January the 18th, 2024 be approved.
Thank you for the motion. Members, please indicate if you are in favor of this motion, starting with Member Vamus.
Yes.
Member Hamilton?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
Brown, yes. The motion has carried. The minutes have been approved. I will now introduce the item 5.1 for application A124DM and turn it over to staff for the presentation of the report and the recommendation.
Good evening, Madam Chair, committee members, staff, and members of the public. My name is Diana Morris, Senior Planner with the County, and I am pleased to be before you this evening to discuss the proposed minor variance application for lands located at 635 Oak Park Road. The subject lands are located to the west of Oak Park Road, south of Paris Road in the County of Brant. The lands are currently vacant with a total land area of 10.6 hectares, a frontage of approximately 391 meters on Oak Park Road, and a depth of approximately 404 meters. Surrounding land uses include residential, employment, and general commercial. The subject lands are designated employment in the County of Brant official plan and is within the site-specific policy area 16, which specifically refers to this area as a priority employment area. The applicant is concurrently undergoing the site plan process and is proposing a warehouse use on the site, which is permitted within this designation. The subject lands are zoned heavy industrial, M3-29. The proposed warehouse use is also permitted within this zone. The applicant is seeking relief from Section 11, Table 11.2.1 of the County of Brant zoning bylaw to permit an increase in height for a cold storage warehouse facility. The applicant is requesting a maximum height of 18 meters, whereas 12 meters is permitted. The applicants have expressed that the increase in building height is necessary to accommodate an automated racking system critical to the proposed development. As previously stated, the applicant is concurrently undergoing the site plan control process, and should this minor variance be approved this evening, the building details of the proposal will be reviewed in detail by internal departments and external agencies throughout that process. Notice of the application was circulated to property owners within 60 meters of the subject lands, and no public comments or concerns were received. As a result of the minor variance review, staff are of the opinion that the request maintains the general intent and purpose of the official plan and zoning bylaw. The request is minor in nature and will not negatively impact adjacent land uses. Therefore, I am recommending approval of minor variance application A1-24-DM. Thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Diana. Does the committee have any questions to staff? It appears, Member Amos, did you have no? It appears there are none from the committee at this point. So the agent or the applicant present, do you have anything you wish to add?
Yes, thank you.
Could you please come up and state your name?
Thank you, Diana, for introducing the file. Good evening, Madam Chair, staff, members of committee, and members of the public. My name is Cynthia Basitich, and I am the planner and agent on the file here with Brimich Logistics and Packaging, proposing the variance as indicated by the planner. We are seeking permission to exceed the maximum building height from 12 to 18 meters for the proposed new cold storage warehouse facility at 635 Oak Park Road here in Paris. Brimich is requesting the extra height for vertical processing within the building to accommodate the necessary automated racking system that is required for this type of operation. We are also mitigating the height by adjusting on the construction end and excavating 4 meters into the ground, thereby reducing the overall height and seeking a variance of 6 meters to make this project possible. The variance, if approved, will provide the required space critical to the function of the warehouse use and for the set racking system to perform. As noted in the planner's report, we meet all in force and effect land use policies and regulations, including the 4 statutory tests under the Planning Act for minor variance. The proposed variance will not have any impacts beyond the site. The property is within a special policy area intended to be a priority for development of employment type uses. We have met all other requirements of the zoning bylaw, and as indicated by the planner, we are following through with the site plan control process, and we are working with staff to ensure all technical aspects are met to accommodate the proposed facility to ensure orderly development. We're excited to bring a new business opportunity to Brant and have received support from the county on this project and in staff's recommendation for approval before you tonight. We respectfully request to committee to support the application. We are happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. Do any committee members have questions? Member Hamilton, please go ahead.
Through the chair to the applicant, that's going to be a fairly large building. There's going to be a lot of water. I know there's a wastewater management system to some. Does all the water on that complete 11-acre state on that piece, or is some of it going to eventually run off through a drainage situation?
Thank you for the question, Councillor. Through you, Madam Chair, we're dealing with everything on site and making accommodations for that through our drainage and engineering through site plan control.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Member Vamus?
Yes, through the chair to the applicant, is this automated racking system, is that something new just for this building, or the other Brimich warehouses have that also?
Thank you for the question, Councillor. Through you, Madam Chair, I do have Brimich representatives here who can speak to the details of the racking system. It is very much state of the art, And it is unlike any other facility here within the county. And I'll leave it at that. Would you like me to
No, I just
have
wanted
Brimage?
the height requested is
Yes.
is it not normal? The other buildings don't have that. That's why this is something new. So you need the extra height.
That's
The
correct.
extra 20 feet.
Absolutely. Yep. And the zoning within the county doesn't permit height beyond that, which removes the argument that Brimage should be located somewhere else. There's that is the maximum height in the industrial zoning, and you're absolutely right that that's required. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions for staff or the applicant's agent? I have a question of maybe it's just for staff. This is only a variance for the height, but in here, I thought the side yard setback is required to be 9 meters, and there's only 7, so there's not a variance required for that? Was it?
Yeah, thank you. Happy to clarify. So in the zoning bylaw, the minimum side yard requirement is 3 meters. With this increase in height, there is a note attached, and speaking with staff, we don't know why those notes are there, but with any increase in height, then there's an increase in side yard setback 1 meter by 1 meter for every increase in height. So they are increasing 6 meter height. Therefore, technically, according with that note, it states that they need 9 meters, but they're asking for 7. But technically, that's just a note, and that helps to justify our support of the variance. But an actual variance is not required for that note.
Thank you. And then I just had a question for the agent. You mentioned that it was being dug down, so the whole building is going down 4 meters into the ground. So essentially, it would be 10 meters over without the 4 meter excavated in. Is that what you mean?
Correct, Madam Chair. Where the warehouse component of the building the finished floor will be below grade 4 meters.
Okay.
So we're compensating for the height by excavating that amount.
Thank you, then. And any final comments, question, points of discussion? I guess there are none, and there are no public delegations registered. So then I'll ask the committee, are you prepared to make a motion on this application? Member Smith, please state your motion.
I'll make a motion to approve A124DM as it meets the 4 tests of the Planning Act.
Thank you. Is there a second? Member Hamilton, I'll now call the vote. Please indicate if you are in favor of the motion, starting with Member Vamus.
Yes.
Member Hamilton,
Yes.
Member Smith,
Yes.
and Brown, yes. The motion has carried. Your application has been approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will now introduce item 5.2 for application B2923LG, B3323LG, B3423LG, and A2423LG, and turn it over to staff for the presentation of the report and the recommendation.
Again, good evening, Madam Chair, committee members, staff, and members of the public. My name is Dinah Morris, Senior Planner with the County, and I am pleased to be before you this evening to present a report for consent and minor variance applications completed by Lauren Graham for lands located at 303 Highway 5 in St. George. I have reviewed the report and am in agreement with staff's recommendation. The subject lands are located north of Highway 5 and east of Grant Road and currently contains one existing dwelling with 2 accessory structures. The existing lot is rectangular in shape with an area of 0.56 hectares and a frontage of 62.51 meters on Highway 5. The existing driveway is currently shared with the abutting existing residence to the west. The subject lands are designated suburban residential in the County of Brant official plan and located within the primary urban settlement boundary of St. George. This designation supports residential growth in the form of infill development. The subject lands are zoned suburban residential within the County of Brant zoning bylaw, which permits the proposed single detached and existing single detached dwelling. The applicant is proposing to retain the existing dwelling with an area of approximately 0.34 hectares and a frontage of 36.61 meters and sever the east side to create a new lot for a single detached dwelling with an area of approximately 0.22 hectares and a frontage of 25.9 meters. In order to create the severed parcel, the applicant is also seeking relief from the County of Brant zoning bylaw, Section 9, Table 9.2.1, to permit a minimum lot area of 2,210 square meters, whereas a minimum of 3,000 square meters is required, and to permit a minimum lot frontage of 25.9 meters, whereas a minimum of 30 meters is required. As stated, there are existing dwellings located at 303 and 309 Highway 5, which currently use a mutual driveway for access. The applicant is proposing the creation of a mutual access easement along the existing driveway located on 303 to benefit 309 Highway 5, as shown in red on the slide. In addition, the applicant is proposing the creation of a mutual access easement along the existing driveway located on 309 to benefit 303 Highway 5, also shown in red on the slide. This driveway is an existing condition, and approval of these easements will provide legal shared access between the two properties. The notice of the application was circulated to property owners within 60 meters of the subject lands, and no public comments or concerns were received. Staff are of the opinion that the requests maintain the general intent and purpose of the official plan and zoning bylaw. The request is minor in nature and will not negatively impact adjacent land uses. I'm recommending approval of the consent and minor variance applications B23-23, B33-23, B34-23, and A24-23-LG, subject to the conditions outlined in the staff report. Thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Diana, for the presentation. Since we are dealing with the severance, easement, and minor variance, I don't know if as a committee you wanted to discuss it all together, the applications, or limit your comments to a particular application. Whatever works is fine with me. All together? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
The motions will have to be made separately, and the conditions are separate for each application too. So with that, do any committee members have comments, questions to staff on these applications? Member Hamilton, please go ahead.
Through the chair to staff, we had a discussion here earlier on the amendment that come through on the addendum for the one easement. I just wonder if you would just do a quick explanation so the other members on the board understand exactly what had when we come up with the modified addendum. Please.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. So an addendum was provided to the committee yesterday. So the initial schedules that were included as part of the staff report included an easement along the retained parcel. And as noted in the amendment, that easement was no longer included as part of the retained parcel. So initially, development engineering staff requested that an easement be provided along the retained parcel to provide access to the severed parcel. But Highway 5 is under the Ministry of Transportation's jurisdiction, and therefore once the MTO provided their comments, they are willing to permit an access on Highway 5. And with that, as a condition of consent approval, they will need to apply for an entrance permit to allow a new driveway from Highway 5 to the severed parcel. So in saying that, the easement along the retained parcel with access to the severed is no longer required.
And that is so you are removing the application B3423 LG?
Through you, Chair. No, sorry, to clarify, we're not removing any of these applications or the numbers. It was just an amendment to the schedules.
Okay.
So it just no longer shows an easement along the retained parcel, but that wasn't included as part of the staff report. It was just the schedules that were incorrect.
Okay. Thank you. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Member Smith?
Through the chair to staff, I mean, we just have a couple. I'll just start with the first question. So with the lot size being a little bit smaller than we typically do, I don't see a condition for a geotech report, and I don't want to add to the very extensive list of conditions already, but I just want to make sure a septic is appropriate for the soils there, because it is a little bit smaller than what we're used to. So maybe just looking for a comment there. Unless I missed it.
Through you, Madam Chair, to Committee Member Smith. There is no condition for a hydro-G. But I believe this may actually be reviewed as well through some of the other conditions. I'm sorry, I'm trying to go through these here. Yes, so there is a septic that is proposed along that severed parcel.
So I'll maybe make an amendment to a condition just to make sure it's reviewed.
Do you have a specific number you want to modify?
I would think it should go under 6. It might just be an additional point under there. We can just do something if required, a hydrogeological study is completed to determine the feasibility of a septic system.
So it would be number or
6E?
6E.
And we'll put if required just in case it's not.
You had other?
And then just my other question about the easements, and this is more for the benefit of the owners. If we can include a condition just to ensure that a maintenance agreement is completed, just so those details are figured out before the easement is actually created in terms of who's plowing it, who's doing fixes to the road, all those things. So just wondering if that can just be an additional condition. Well, I'll propose that as an additional condition on those easement applications. So that'll be number 9, condition 9. And then that was all I had for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Smith. Any further comments or questions from committee members? No comments from committee members. I only had a question on Under condition 7 for the severance, the second bullet, the blanks left for part on the reference plan. Is there a reason they're blank or?
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. So they need to, prior to final approval, a reference plan will need to be required. And once that reference plan is determined and the part numbers are there, they will be filled in.
Okay, thank you. And then just a question about the tree replanting, condition 10B. So it seems very specific in page 4 of the report that says 8 compensation trees, but then in condition 10B, it just says in accordance with the tree inventory. So I'm assuming that's leaving it open, so if only 2 trees are removed, you're not insisting 8 be planted.
So through you, Madam Chair, so through the technical review, it was established that 4 healthy trees are proposed to be removed to facilitate the new residential dwelling on the severed parcel. So as a result, we're requesting a compensation of 8 trees, so 2-to-1 ratio.
And then the reason 10B isn't that specific, because if there's less or more trees, it leaves it open as per accordance with tree inventory and protection plan.
Through, yes, that is correct.
Thank you. Okay, so are there any final questions or comments on Member Smith? Please go ahead.
Sorry, just one more comment, if I can, through the chair. I'm just thinking with the creation of a new lot, because this will be on a private well as well. I don't see that there's a condition for potable water. So I'm wondering if that needs to be included as well. It'll be done anyways when they go to dig the well, but just to make sure it's cleared as a condition. Unless I missed it.
I don't think there is one there now. Okay.
So I'd maybe have to propose that as a 6F condition.
Okay. Thank you. Other members okay with that then? Okay. Then I will ask the applicant or their agent present, and I'm assuming you do want to add to the staff report.
Good evening. My name is Ruchi Kare. Sorry, I keep on forgetting that. And on behalf of the owners, I'm happy to present this application. Just noting a couple of the conditions that were being added. We did provide a scoped hydrogeological assessment as part of the application. Both geotechnical assessment as well as potable water, both were addressed in the hydroge report, and that is one of the reasons why it is not being included as conditions of approval. So I just wanted to make a note of that, and we satisfied that ahead of time, and unless committee members feel that still a condition is warranted, it will be the same report that will be presented to the staff for their review. Other than that, I didn't want to add any additional comments, but happy to answer any more questions committee members have.
Do any committee members have comments or questions to the agent? I believe there are none. And there are no public delegations registered. So with that, I'm assuming the committee is prepared to make a decision, so I'll request a motion on it. On these applications, a motion for each one individually. Recognizing there have been some proposed modifications to the conditions on a couple of them. Member Smith, please go ahead.
I'll do the long ones. Moved by myself, approve B 2923 as it does conform with the provincial policy statement, growth plan, and county official plan, and general consistency with the zoning bylaw. Subject to the amended conditions included in the staff report, adding a condition for 6E, noting if required a hydrogeological study is required to determine feasibility of a septic system, addition of 6F for proof of potable water.
Thank you. Is there a second to this motion? Member Bamus, I'll now call the vote, starting with Member Bamus.
Yes.
Member Hamilton?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
And Brown, yes. The motion to approve application B2993 LG has carried. That application has approved. I'll now request a motion on B3323 LG. Member Hamilton, please provide your motion.
I move that we accept application B33-23-LG because it follows the county zoning bylaws, or is it more of a minor variance?
This is an easement. It does start with the number B.
Through the chair to Member Hamilton, is your mic on?
Sorry. I move that we accept B33-23-LG because it is compliant with the County of Brant official plan and the zoning bylaws.
There was a suggestion.
With the conditions, with the amended conditions?
Yes, this one required the addition of a number 9.
Yeah, maintenance between
for resolution of the maintenance agreement.
Between the owners.
Okay. And with that motion, is there a second? Member Smith is second. I'll now call the vote, starting with Member Bamus.
Yes.
Member Hamilton.
Yes.
Member Smith.
Yes.
And Brown, yes. The motion to approve application B3323 LG with modified, the addition of a condition has carried. That application has been approved. I will now request a motion on application B3423 LG. Member Smith?
I'll make a motion to approve application B3423 LG. That does conform with the provincial policy statement, growth plan, county official plan, and conforms with the zoning bylaw, subject to the conditions included in the report, plus an additional condition to ensure a maintenance agreement executed for the shared easement.
Thank you. Member Smith, is there a second to that motion? Member Hamilton? I'll now call the vote, starting with Member Bamus.
Yes.
Member Hamilton.
Yes.
Member Smith.
Yes.
Brown, yes. The motion to approve application B3423 LG has carried with an additional condition for the maintenance agreement. And I will now request a motion on minor variance A2423 LG. Member Hamilton, please provide your motion.
I move that we accept minor variance A24-23-LG because it is minor in nature and with the conditions that have been set forward.
Thank you. Is there a second to that motion? Member Bamus, I'll now call the vote, starting with Member Bamus.
Yes.
Member Hamilton?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
Member Brown, yes. Motion has carried. The application for A2423 LG has been approved. I will now introduce the item 5.3 for application B3523HH and turn it over to staff for the presentation of the report and the recommendation. She's there already.
Good evening. This is a consent application for lands located at 152 and 156 Sugar Maple Road within the former geographic township of St. George. The subject lands are located north of German School Road and east of Sugar Maple Road. The subject lands are municipally known as 152 and 156 Sugar Maple Road. The surrounding area consists of industrial and open space land uses and is located within the primary urban settlement boundary of St. George. The subject lands are designated general employment within the County of Brant official plan and are currently zoned heavy industrial within the County of Brant zoning bylaw 6116. The proposed severed and retained lands are located within an industrial subdivision situated in St. George. It has been expressed by the applicant that the parcels were originally bought in separate ownership and were subsequently merged inadvertently. The lands intended to be retained include a manufacturing and storage facility, while the adjacent parcel to be severed is presently vacant and was formerly used for extra parking and storage. However, extra parking and storage uses are no longer necessary. The applicant is proposing the creation of one new industrial lot with approximately 0.81 hectares being severed from 156 Sugar Maple Road. The retained lot will maintain 0.77 hectares. Any proposed development on the retained and severed lands will be subject to site plan control. As a result of the consent application review, staff is of the opinion that the lot creation is consistent within the context of the existing development and consistent with the current planning policy. I am recommending approval of the consent application B35-23-HH. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for the presentation, Haley. Does the committee have any comments or questions to staff on this application? I guess there are none. Is the applicant or their agent
The agent is,
online? Okay. Could I have your name, please?
my name is Mark Castle. I'm the lawyer and agent for the applicant Western Spring.
Thank you. Do you have anything to add to the staff report?
Only I would like to address some of the conditions that are listed.
Please go ahead.
One of the conditions is that there be an up-to-date survey prepared. One of the slides that was actually presented by staff is a new survey. That was just done in October of last year, and it basically provides all of the information that is requested by condition number 3. With respect to a new reference plan, these lots were originally created by virtue of reference plan registered by the municipality, and we will be following the same description as in the existing reference plan. So I would submit that no new reference plan is required. The request for the disconnection of the driveway, I have spoken with my client. They are in agreement with that. I note that Peter Hill, who is a representative from the applicant, is trying to connect, but I see he's had some difficulties. But I spoke with his associate yesterday, and they have no difficulties with the disconnection of the driveway as requested in condition number 4. Those are my comments, subject to any questions Madam Chair or staff or members may have.
Thank you. Do you wish to comment on his request, Haley? Then I'll ask the committee members, do you have any comments for the agent? It appears there are none. So I'll request of the agent, are you asking that conditions 2 and 3 be removed then?
Yes, please.
I'll ask the committee members, are you in favor of that? To me, it seems similar to the last one where there was a hydro G as part of the application process, but we still had it in the conditions. Member Smith, please go ahead.
If I may just make a comment, I would suggest that if there is a reference plan that already meets the condition, I would think that it would be just cleared by way of already having the reference plan, so I wouldn't be comfortable taking it out. The other thing I would note is I'm assuming that the new building on the proposed new lot will go through site plan control, so at some time you will need to get a survey of that nature anyways. So that would just maybe be my comments regarding that.
If I may address the comment made by the member, at this time there is no intention to develop the lot that is to be severed. It will remain vacant. In the event that any development does occur, I understand site plan will be required at that time.
Member Hamilton, please go ahead.
Through the chair to the agent, you have said that disconnection is there. Do we need to have, I'm assuming then you will be making a new entrance into the retained area? Or are you going to utilize the parking lot and go through that to get to the back of the present building?
It is my understanding in speaking with the owners that they will be taking out the gravel and replacing it with grass, and they will utilize the existing entrance on the retained lot for access to the rear of the building.
All right, thank you.
I just have a question then. So at this point, as per the literature, there is no thought to sell the severed lot.
Not at this time.
Thank you.
It was inadvertently merged as a result of a death of the original owner. The estate, when the estate was being administered, I wasn't the lawyer of record, but I would assume that the lawyer did not do a check of the title and registered the deed.
Thank you. Then any further comments or questions from committee members for either staff or the agent? No? Then I will ask the committee, are you prepared to make a motion on this? Member Hamilton?
I move that we accept application B35-23-HH with the list of conditions that have been provided, with the amended conditions where we remove 2 and 3, and because it follows the official plan of the County of Brant and the zoning bylaws.
As a point of clarification, I thought staff was not supportive of removal condition 2 and 3. Did I interpret that correctly?
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair. I do recommend, I agree with Member Smith that condition 2 be kept in regarding a copy of the draft reference plan. Just looking at the plan that was provided, yes, it is a survey plan that shows the existing building on lands to be retained, but typically once the plan goes to get registered and goes to, on title, it does need to show specifically the two lands to be retained, lands to be severed, with specific the area and the new frontage proposed. So the conditions I believe should stay.
Thank you. Do you wish to modify your motion then? You want them removed? Then I will ask, is there a member who wishes to second that motion? But if you can't get a seconder, the motion won't carry. So there is no seconder? Okay. Then I will request a new motion to be put forth. Member Vamus or Member Smith, do you have a motion? Member Smith, please go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve B 3523 as it conforms to the provincial policy statement, growth plan, county official plan, and zoning bylaws, subject to the conditions that are included in the staff report.
Thank you, and I will request, is there a second? Member Vamus, and I'll now call the vote, starting with Member Vamus.
Yes.
Member Hamilton.
Yes.
Member Smith.
Yes.
Brown, yes. The motion to approve application B3523HH has carried, so the application has been approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members and staff.
Thank you. And with that, our meeting applications are now complete. So item 6 on the agenda, the next meeting is scheduled to be March 21st, 2024. And again, it will be a hybrid meeting starting at 6 p.m. May I now to move to item 7, adjournment. May I please get a motion to adjourn the meeting? Member Vamus?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting of February 15, 2024. I'm looking for a seconder.
Thank you. Member Hamilton, second. All those in favor with a show of hands? Yes. The motion to adjourn has carried.